Hello friend. Well, May 2016 has been a very busy and rainy month for us here in Richmond, Virginia, so I'm going to do something that may be intensely boring to you or very interesting or somewhere in between, and that is a workshop tour. Just to kind of show you around all the little nooks and crannies of what I've got going on and see if that's of any interest. If not, forgive me for that in advance. So there you'll see the 24-foot toy hauler trailer that was once my workshop for many years and served me well, but I have this beautiful view outside the workshop, a silver tundra in which I'll be living at Flight Fest, look out for that, and forest and creek out back behind the house. Of course, I need a snappy name for the establishment. I have a 4 by 8 foot plywood table. It's 3/4 inch thick, just built on 2x4 supports that are just sort of snapped together, and it's been very, very handy. See it here in its unedited state with lunch leftovers and assorted other tidbits, not RC related. The tripod upon which I place the camera to do the headshots shooting, and then the latest project is this sort of Pylon Racer. It's like a kind of a photon on steroids. It's got a 50-inch wingspan, a 10mm carbon fiber tube as the spar, symmetrical wing, and I managed to make this terribly nose heavy, so this fuselage pod will need to be rebuilt, but look for this in a video coming soon. This is a PVC airplane rack that I built out of 3/4 inch PVC and T's. There are 4 10-foot sections of PVC that I bought and 20, give or take a couple, T's, and it's glued only at the base. The remaining sections are just plugged together so I can remove and disassemble that as needed. And to keep it simple, I just flexed the uprights backwards, kind of like you're bending over backwards, holding an armful of logs or something like that, so that the top is actually centered over the base of the bottom. So, and there are suspension lines that keep it in that arrangement too. So it's a very simple kind of way to accomplish that, and there are about 12 planes on there right now. Here's the scratch-made discus launch glider. Not seeing a whole lot of use lately. A store-bought design I got at Flight Fest last year. A couple of utility power pods, so to speak, with an NTM prop drive, 1400 kV 3536 there, and just a wing mounting apparatus and a battery spot and a receiver. And I just use these for testing various wing and tail configurations, but they don't really belong to any specific plane. There is a Orange RX T6 that I'll probably be getting rid of soon, and a Spectrum DX7, which is part of the prize at the WTF plane contest. With that will be included many of these receivers that you see here. And then I have my charging station, probably the best organized part of the whole workshop. This I use a Hobby King Quattro 4x6 multi-charger, and you can bag on Hobby King all you want, but I got to tell you that to charge 4 batteries pretty quick on this, very reliable, and with the Hobby King power source to match, it does me right, and the price was great. And of course, there's some assortment of FPV goggle batteries and small batteries and stuff, but the main fleet is 2.2 amp hour Turnigy Nanotechs, 5 amp hour Turnigy Nanotechs, and the newest edition, which I'm getting a lot of interesting use out of, is the Titan. This is a 4-cell, 3.5 amp hour, 14.8 volts. These are very promising batteries. Light, apparently very durable in the sense that they can be charged and discharged many, many times. The form factor is taking some getting used to, but I'll have a greater report on that coming soon, although everything is favorable so far. And then on to the Ansley Peastrone Boneyard. Have a twin canard version up there. Coming down, we have this sort of assorted shelf of stuff and future projects, including this 90mm EDF, which will hopefully serve as the turbine for a very tiny hydroelectric project I have for the creek out back. Here's some nylon parachutes, which I hope will get some good use at Flight Fest. And we have a FPV video equipment drawer, antenna drawers, servos, motors, and ESCs. It's pretty empty at the moment as far as motors are concerned. Airplane propellers, multi-copter propellers. I have a ubiquitous and important scale, grams and ounces. Various electronics and wiring, wheels and GoPro equipment. Sadly, my GoPros are all dead. This is my materials drawer. This is just sort of raw materials, metal, carbon fiber, aluminum, titanium, wood, stuff like that. This is defunct flight controllers and more antenna gear and assorted stuff like caps and extensions for that. I have these two multicopters, a Trifecta from Hobby King and an H4, I believe it is, also from Hobby King. Through no fault of the frames, these are in various states of disrepair and not flight worthy at the moment, but I hope to rectify that soon. Mini squeeze clamps acquired from Harbor Freight, very useful. I have a box of carbon fiber tubing from Radical RC, about halfway through that box, and many assorted straight edges and measuring tools, which I use to measure and make straight cuts. There's a long stock jar of aluminum, carbon fiber, fishing rods, push rods, landing gear, music wire, and so forth. And then mostly the construction drawers, tools, batteries, and a circuit tester, digital calipers, dongles and charging and flashing tools, welding wire and safety wire and hot glue. Many blank ID cards, aka gift cards, although these are more easily bought these days, pure white on eBay for about 5 or 10 cents each in quantity. Antennas and parachutes, FPV antennas. And we have the packing tape or carton sealing tape from tapeplanet.com, vinyl tape, same place, and assorted other tapes, baggies, and streamer material. Here's other projects at hand, some motors that need to be used for a twin cargo plane, a random assortment of servos which can hopefully be used in that very project that I just mentioned, packing materials for shipping things, and then up to the stash of the fuselage for that twin cargo plane, many pairs of wings, some of which have allocated airplanes for them and some not, and then fuselage tubes of varying sizes. Here's a healthy stack of ready board, ready to be covered, some of it already pre-covered. The wings for the twin cargo plane right there is currently 60 inches, will be shortened. And my two main flight boxes, this one for FPV, you can see the ground station there is a 1.3 gigahertz receiver with a patch antenna on the other side of the lid, which points towards the area of operation. And that feeds into this 5.8 gigahertz 25 milliwatt repeater, which transmits to the goggles themselves, so there's no wire there. I have a splitter here and a DVR, which I can record flights with if desired. Turnigy 9XR with Dragon Link for my long-range FPV control. And this is my kind of line of sight box, not much in it currently. But the usual radio these days is this Turnigy i10, which has served me quite well. It's very slim and happy to use. There are compartmented boxes for servo parts and some other electrical leads, power leads and bullet connectors. It's a power reducer, sort of cut off long stock like carbon fiber, push rods, and so forth there. Here's multicopter parts, which currently consist mostly of screws, a couple of spare motors, GPS masts, and ESCs, and then mostly APM related gear, although there's a Pixhawk, jumpers, pins, connectors, and that sort of thing for that. There is solder gear on this cookie sheet, which gets moved out to the work table, a Dremel and tips. Packing tape for actual shipping, which is on a gun. I actually use it for something besides covering planes. Some assorted tape, solvents like acetone and toluene, a lamp and a larger grinder for cutting carbon fiber plate, hot glue guns, sandpaper, ethanol for cleaning up Gorilla Glue and other random things. It's denatured, not cocktail quality, and a bottle of water, which you need for Gorilla Glue as well. So if you've made it to this point, you must be a very dedicated Experimental Airlines viewer, and I appreciate you hanging out and looking through what amounts to my kitchen junk drawer, but which is my workshop here, and hopefully that was of some interest. And so if you want to make the same kind of video, I'll watch yours too. And until then, or we'll see you around, be well, take care.